Hey, this is Luis Centenaro with eCommerce Cosmos, and I'll be going over how to upload a blog post to Shopify. I'll cover two main things. First, I'll cover how to work with a content calendar to stay organized and how to keep track of the blog's goals. Second, I'll cover how to take a 400-word blog post from Word and turn it into an epic shareable post simply by finding the right pictures and formatting the right way to make it valuable for readers and also for search engines, increasing your organic traffic from Google. Now, before I get into any technical details with Shopify, it's important that you as a blogger understand the brand strategy and the goals that are set for each blog that gets published on a client site. For this, we use a content calendar. Now, this is a template from Early Bird Strategy. You can purchase your own. It's $25 on Gumroad, and I can add a link to it. But using this one for Skix.com, we have a monthly theme tab, and then we have a editorial weekly post frequency tab. Both of these revolve around the goals of getting 50,000 unique blog visitors and 100,000 active emails in 2016. Your blog goals may be different. Adjust them accordingly. So 2016 monthly themes, the first tab in here, is going to revolve around the theme that we have set for the month. So January is going to revolve around college stadiums. There are 4 holidays in January, or 3. And February is going to revolve around basketball traditions. There are also holidays in February that you can take into account for. And then different ideas and contests to launch. Again, this is a very malleable calendar, and things get changed, month by month. But this is for Q1, and it's set and it's ready to go. And at least there are some ideas generated there. Now, the exciting part: the weekly post goal. So we want to get a post for every week of the year. Here we can see how we're doing on that. So far, not started is about 76%. We have 19% that are in ideas. We have 1% that are in drafts and 1% that is scheduled, ready to proof. So these are the different statuses of the blogs. Right now, scheduled, we have a post by Nikki with the topic New Year's resolution and the title. The Vlog URL, you always want to keep short. That will go in more technical detail when we upload that to Shopify, but this is for SEO purposes. And then goal is to get 1,000 blog views from this specific post. And how we're going to promote it, it's going to be the newsletter, blog, Twitter, Tumblr, etc. And this is your number one priority as a blogger, is to make sure that this is being promoted. And it's really your job as a blogger. It really doesn't end after you publish a post. It ends after you finish promoting the post. So we'll go over some different ways to promote it on another day, but just know that it's not finished after you're done writing the blog. The biggest part of the work comes from promoting it. And then here's the review link, so you can go and click through to see the actual post, make any comments or annotations. These should be made to comment as well. That way there can be easily annotated notes there. So now that that's scheduled, when it's published, we'll change that. And this is also ready to proof. So this status has changed down here, and we have our first blogs for the season almost ready to go. So that is the content calendar. And then lastly on this tab is a ideas and priorities list. Basically anything that's going to help achieve the blog goals we want to prioritize, such as adding offer bios. So any ideas that you come up with as you're working on the blog, please go and add them to this tab along with the goal that they're going to be solving. So that is the content calendar. It is highly effective, and it's the only way to make sure that you're focusing on the blog goals and not just publishing to publish. So now that we covered that, we're going to go over how to upload the actual post to Shopify and make it an epic post. So right now we have a 400-word document from Google Docs. So it's a Word document, and we're going to take and copy and paste this to our Shopify blog. So we're going to log into Shopify. So we just logged into the store. We're going to click Online Store, Blog Posts, and here you can see all the blog posts that we've written so far. So you can get an idea of the writing style and things that we like to work with. This is the next post. It's hidden right now. It is not published. You can see the offer bios here. But we're just going to click Add a blog post. So now that we added the blog post, we copy and pasted that. But every time you copy from Word, you end up losing formatting. So you always want to go and paste it into a text editor, either your Notes app or something like Sublime, and then copy and paste that, where it's going to completely mess up your formatting. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can try it yourself. But this is a best practice, is to copy and paste it from a text editor. So now that we have the content and the title, we're going to work on formatting this. So we always have to change the offer to the right offer, and it needs to go under recent articles. So that's very important. But this post is great. What it's lacking is interlinking pictures and a call to action that encourages readers to do something after this post. So now that we're formatting it, making the readability better, these were bolded. So a real best practice is to actually just write the post inside Shopify and then copy and paste it over to Word, the Google Doc, and make any changes, just do them all in Shopify. It's just a quick tip as a best practice. But now that we have this post, a couple things that we want to do. We want to make sure we have pictures that are going to entice and engage readers. So we need a feature image that focuses around New Year's. So there's a couple different ways that you can go ahead and grab different images. So one of the best ways is you go and you Google them. UMich basketball. Okay, I want some images of University of Michigan basketball. So these are all images I can use, except that I have to give credit to these images. If I take this image from btm.com, I have to go and say image source btm.com, which is not a big deal, just like this Huffington Post one. It's probably the one we're going to use. It's a really nice image with a great flag. If you don't want to give credit, you can always search for usage rights that are free to use, share, modify, even commercially. And basically anything on Wikipedia you're going to be able to take because it's copyright free. These are all Wikipedia images that we can take for free and use on our blog without having to attribute the rights. So we can use these, in promotions and really not have any problem at all. So that's one way. Next way is the stocks.im. This is a great site that has thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of photos that you can use for free. They're all copyright free. They work with some sponsored ones that charge, but for the most part, you can use things like Pixabay and download tons of great pictures, even though they think football is soccer. So this has about 10 different sites that you can use, from travel photos to photos of people. And they're all extremely high quality, so this is a highly recommended source. So that is how you find pictures. Now that you've found pictures, what you want to do is open them up in Photoshop. So rather than just saving it and uploading it to the blog as you found it, you want to make sure all the pictures are matching in size and they're not huge. So for example, these are, there's 10 ideas. We found 8 pictures or so where we can plug them in between the different numbers. So this picture, for example, is 3.3 megabytes. This is a huge picture. You do not want to upload a picture like this in the blog because it's going to slow the blog down, slow the site down, and make users mad. And nobody's going to read your post if it doesn't load, especially on a mobile device. So the best practice for this is to open them all up in Photoshop. So I'm opening up Photoshop. I'm creating a new canvas with the size of 800 by 500. And I'm going to drag and drop all these photos into Photoshop. So now that I have these photos, I'm going to quickly resize them. And depending on your version of Photoshop, this may be different, but you can export layers to files. This might also be under automate depending on your version of Photoshop. We're going to save them as JPEG images with a quality of 9. And run the script. So now it's exporting every one of these pictures and saving it for us rather than us having to do it individually. And it's finished. So now you'll see the pictures are all below 400 kilobytes, which is what we want. And the last thing we need to do is we need to change the names. So you don't want anything that's irrelevant in the photo. My last name and a bunch of zeros is going to hurt SEO because Google recognizes and reads image names. So anytime you see somebody uploading a DMG 1191, they're actually hurting their SEO unless they change the name and make sure that it's relevant to what we're talking about. So now that we have our pictures and we rename them, we're going to go upload these to Shopify. The first picture is going to be the featured image we saw. Let's see if they let us upload multiple pictures at once. Nope, that was just one. So this is going to be the first image we're going to use. And we're going to say Skix New Year as the alt text. And we're going to change the size to the original because we already resized all of them. Alt text is very important as well. This is another way Google reads your image names. And now if we search for Skix New Year, eventually on Google, that image is going to rank for it. Get in shape is our next one. Quickly add a picture here. So that looks great. So college sporting events, we're going to use that option to interlink to another article on Skix. So if I go to site, skix.com, you can see some of the more popular pages on Skix, from the home page to collections to search. We'll go to the press and blog. And pick some different blogs that we can link back to create this web and keep people constantly on our site looking at more pages. So give your wardrobe a makeover. It's never too late. College spirit. So this is a perfect opportunity to go and interlink these top 6 tailgating articles. It's highly relevant. Again, link title, it's used for accessibility and SEO. When somebody hovers over it, you want to make sure they know where they're going to. So now this is a link leading to the blog post. If you don't have Photoshop, another way to go and do the same thing with your photos is to use canva.com. And with this, it's a free service. You can just use custom dimensions. Same thing we did in Photoshop, 800 by 500 design. Then you can just upload photos here. When you're done uploading it, you download it. And then it'll resize them for you. But the easiest way is Photoshop. All right, so now we link that article. I'm going to add a new picture here. This is Michigan basketball game. So this image we need to give photo credits to. Okay, 2 images. Lastly, we're going to add a GIF or GIF, and they are absolutely fantastic. People love these things.